Welcome to the Sentinel, the only channel that presents the real facts before public. Let's talk about China's J-35, going to be inducted in Pakistani AIRFORCE. Features of J-35.
Automated landing system. In bad weather or at night, the J-35 can lock onto the carrier's signals and land almost by itself. The pilot still has control, but the computer helps guide the jet onto the deck with incredible precision. This system has cut down landing accidents significantly during testing. All these modifications added weight to the jet, but Chinese engineers found clever ways to compensate. They used lightweight materials in less critical areas and redesigned internal systems to save space and weight. The result is a jet that's just as agile as its land-based cousins, but tough enough to handle the punishing life at sea. The arrival of the J-35 changes everything about air power in Asia. 20 years ago, China's Air Force relied mostly on copied Russian designs. Now, with the J-35, they've jumped right to the front of the pack. This jet isn't just a new plane, it's proof that China can build advanced fighters that match anything in the world. Think about what China has done here. In the time it takes a kid to go from kindergarten to college, they've gone from buying other countries' jets to building their own top-tier stealth fighter. The J-35 is part of a bigger plan. China wants to have the most modern military in Asia by 2027 and one of the best in the world by 2035. Here's what makes military experts sit up and take notice. China isn't building just a few of these jets. They're planning to make hundreds of them. Each Chinese aircraft carrier could carry up to 40 J-35s. With 3 carriers already built or being built, that's a lot of firepower. The impact on the region is huge. Before the J-35, only the United States had carrier-based stealth fighters in the Pacific. Japan, South Korea, and other countries are now speeding up their own fighter jet programs. It's like a high-stakes game of catch-up, where everyone's trying to match what China just did. China isn't keeping this technology all to itself either. They're already talking about selling a version of the J-35 to other countries. Pakistan has shown serious interest, and several Middle Eastern nations are watching closely. This could mean Chinese stealth fighters operating from bases across Asia and beyond. The clever part is how the J-35 works with China's other military equipment. It can share information with Chinese satellites, radar systems, and other aircraft. Imagine a huge network where every Chinese plane, ship, and radar station can instantly share what they see. That's what they're building. When you compare the J-35 to other modern fighters, it holds its own pretty well. The American F-35 is still considered the best, but the J-35 isn't far behind. It can't quite match the F-22's pure speed and power, but it makes up for it with newer electronics and better carrier capabilities. Looking at the numbers makes this even more impressive. A single F-35 costs about $80 million. China can build 2 J-35s for roughly that same amount. This means they can put more planes in the air for the same money. The J-35 also changes how naval battles might be fought. Aircraft carriers used to stay far from danger, launching regular fighters with limited range. With stealth fighters like the J-35, carriers can operate closer to potential targets while staying hidden. Other countries are watching this closely. India is speeding up its own fighter program. Australia is buying more F-35s. Even European countries are paying attention to what China has achieved. But it's not just about the plane itself. The J-35 shows that China can now build advanced engines, radars, and stealth materials on its own. They don't need to buy these technologies from other countries anymore. This independence in military technology is exactly what China wanted. The training program for J-35 pilots shows how serious China is. They're using advanced simulators, similar to video games but much more complex. Pilots practice hundreds of hours before ever stepping into the real jet. This means China will have plenty of well-trained pilots ready to fly these advanced fighters. For other Asian countries, the J-35 means they need to rethink their air defense systems. Old radar systems might not spot these jets easily. That's why countries like Japan are investing billions in new radar and missile systems. Right now, the J-35 is making waves with its latest achievements. In late 2023, test pilots pushed this jet to new limits, completing over 100 successful carrier landings in various weather conditions. That's impressive for a brand new fighter jet. They tested everything from night landings to rough sea conditions. The production line is humming along at full speed. China's building these jets at their facility in Shenyang, with current estimates showing they can make about 2 planes every month. By early 2024, They had already built enough for their first naval squadron. That's about 24 aircraft. Looking ahead, Chinese engineers aren't sitting still. They're working on better radar systems that can spot targets even further away. The next batch of J-35s will get upgraded cockpit displays. Think of it like getting a new smartphone with a bigger, clearer screen. They're also developing new weapons specifically designed for the J-35's internal weapon bays. The timeline for getting these jets into service is moving fast. The Chinese Navy plans to have their first full squadron operational by early 2025. That's quick. Most new fighter jets take longer to go from testing to actual service. They're planning to have 3 full squadrons ready by 2027, just in time for their military modernization deadline. Speaking of the Chinese Navy, they're completely reshaping how they train pilots for this new jet. They've built special facilities where pilots practice carrier landings on land first. These practice runs use the same exact deck layout as their carriers. It's like learning to drive in a parking lot before hitting the highway, except way more complex. The Navy's also changing how they maintain these jets. Each carrier will have special workshops just for the J-35. They've trained hundreds of mechanics specifically for this aircraft. These aren't your regular airplane mechanics. They've learned everything about stealth coatings, advanced electronics, and those complicated folding wings. One interesting development is how they're integrating the J-35 with their new carriers. The Fujian carrier, China's newest and biggest, was designed from the start to work with these jets. They've installed special equipment to handle the J-35's unique needs, everything from fuel systems to maintenance facilities. The Chinese Navy has big plans for these jets. Each carrier battle group will have its own squadron of J-35s. These squadrons will work together with other ships and aircraft, creating a powerful force that can operate far from China's shores. The J-35 isn't just another fighter jet. It's a game changer that proves China has joined the big leagues of military aviation. This jet does things only a handful of aircraft in the world can do. Sneak past radar, take off from carriers, and fly at speeds that'll make your head spin. Think about this. China built a jet that can match America's best fighters in just 10 years. It flies at nearly twice the speed of sound, carries its weapons hidden inside, and uses materials so advanced they barely show up on radar. But what's really turning heads is the price tag. China can build 2 J-35s for the cost of 1 American F-35. What does all this mean for the future? Simple. The days of only Western countries having the best military technology are over. China's shown they can build cutting-edge fighters on their own, and they're ready to sell them to other countries too. For the first time in modern history, we're seeing a real competitor to America's air power in the Pacific. The J-35 isn't just about showing off new technology. It's about changing who has power in the skies above Asia and beyond. If you've made it this far, you clearly care about staying informed on military technology. Don't miss out on more videos like this. Hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that notification bell too, so you'll know first when we drop new content about game-changing military tech. Drop a comment below. What other military aircraft should we cover next? Your opinion matters, and we read every comment. If you enjoyed learning about the J-35, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And share this video with anyone you know who's interested in military aviation. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies.